record everything for us.
Ooh.
So, see the blue dot? It's showing us all the coldest spot in the camera at that particular moment. We're looking for things that are blue and black to try to take shape on their own and start to look like people.
Oh, wow.
So, you guys should be able to see. You see me in there now? My glasses look funny because it doesn't see through glass. So you shouldn't be able to see my eyes until I take it off.
Yep.
So the whole
I
point...
can't even see your face.
There you go.
Can you see me now?
Yeah.
Okay. So when I put my glasses on, I probably look funny because the glass is going to be colder. Do you see how they're probably a blue color? So with that said, you're looking for people in here that are going to be blue and black, not orange and yellow like me. Ghosts are going to be cold. Okay? But you're going to hold this way. So the camera, you see the wire? You know your left from your right, don't you? Okay.
No, not really. Sometimes.
Yes, you do.
The camera is always going to stay on your left. Don't hold it from here, hold it from over here. So I already started the recording, so that way you can kind of get a tinker of it.
This?
You can. Perfect, yeah, just don't hold it from anywhere over here. It'll probably cause the camera to come out. You won't break it, but we'll lose the footage you already recorded. And that's an upgrade. So I upgraded that probably about a year ago.
That's awesome.
To actually have that blue dot on there. It really helps out when you're trying to find the coldest spot in the frame. So
And
again,
it tells you the temperature?
oh yeah, on both of them. So there's an ambient temperature and there's a cold spot. So that way, because I normally look for 15-degree temperature drops. So if the ambient temperature is telling me like, hey, it's 81 degrees out here, I'm normally anywhere looking between like 60 to 65 or lower to kind of see like where we're going. And that's
It says
where this guy comes into
84.
play, is where the bottom number is actually going to be saying 87 because it's on my butt. But again, this will tell us I can go find the blue spot I'm going to be staring at. Coming from American Engineers, from that kind of metallic. Because again, it's going to measure through this little yellow probe antenna right here at the top. So it's measuring everything around.
Okay, just to let you know, I might get a little freaked out.
You'll be okay.
I
You
get
wanted
freaked
this,
out.
man. This is what you wanted.
Yes.
So I'm putting you to work.
I get freaked out sometimes.
I'm really
but-
surprised I didn't put this on like an alert mode to see if anything was actually around us. Normally when I have my 10 or 11, I spread everybody out and I start bouncing around taking notes. Like this would be one person's job the whole night. That would be another person's job the whole night. We're going to spread things out a little bit just because of, what we're actually, there's a short amount of people from us. The Ouija board thing, one person all night long. And I usually tell people if you want to keep it among your party, because some people show up with 4 or 5 people, spread it around amongst your people. Keep it that way because they all get sanitized twice a day. So, all right, buddy, you ready to go to the next spot? Go see if we can find some creepy ghosts in a dark alley.
Yeah.
You see that orange square on there? On the left-hand side? Right there? Go ahead and tap it for me. There you go. Ghost hunting is all about patience.
Huh? Coldest thing is 79 degrees.
This isn't a normal place where we can actually ask questions. So this is what I would call a residual ghost. So on your TV shows and YouTube videos, they probably talk about like the loop, right? Where they hear things and it only occurs on certain nights or certain days.
Right.
This is that kind of mentality here. So what's going on here is the history is real simple. When we came down East Bay Street and crossed the last crosswalk, that's where the original Charlestown Wall used to be. So you're standing on one of the first streets we ever had.
Wow.
Now I have the full list of residents, of people that lived here. So we commonly get the same 2 names over and over and over again. Now, did you hear any names along the way here? Did you hear anything? I know we were chatting, that kind of thing. It can be difficult. And that's why I just checked the word list. So the 2 names I commonly get are Benjamin and John.
Okay.
So the slower you are with that camera, the easier it's going to be for you to watch it later.
Yeah, we're going to get
you want to
footage
keep
of
it
this.
real still. So I'm just trying to, so that way he has something to actually watch later.
Right. Hold it up a little bit.
Benjamin and
There you
John
go.
are the 2 names we normally hear here.
Will ghosts like float up in the air?
Depends. So again, with all that blue stuff that I see on you, that's probably from the water that's on the ground.
Yep.
Yeah, but what's that stuff up there?
Just through the trees, I guess.
Now the sky, every time you go to the sky, the blue dot that I showed you guys earlier defaults to the sky because there's no surface. So it thinks it's the coldest thing because there's nothing to measure.
Oh, okay.
So again, it's just going to give you kind of like the ambient temperature 2 miles up because that's about as far as the range will go. Now, if you try to keep the sky out, I normally tell people at the very beginning of the tour, like, hey, keep people in because of our skin temp, get a nice array of color, try to keep the sky out. Just
Right.
because you're going to get, it's much easier to find you than to have that eight or two dots. So Benjamin and John are
Wait, hold on. Hold on. Wait, there's something black and like blue. It's like
Sky, you fool.
Sky.
up.
Those two names are because there were a Benjamin and a John that lived here in 1801. Now, I don't have anything significant about it, but you guys always tell me every 6 to 7 weeks the same two names, and every once in a while it comes up as John or John Johnson. So again, it's almost like it comes from 3 different spirit boxes. Benjamin, John, Johnson. We're 4 different Johns that live down here. John likes to show us which one he is. So we will get his last name too. Now, the reason why that's happening is because you're standing on Belgian bricks. So these bricks have been here since 1739, like, that we know of. It's kind of a speculation from the historians. Basically, this is the stone tape theory. Have you ever heard of that before?
Yeah.
So this is what's going on here. So in a nutshell, the stone tape theory
Wait.
states that rocks or earthly materials that have been in the same place for a long period of time, a few hundred years, can hang on to the memory of the things that happened here and then replay them on our electronics.
Huh.
Excuse
So
me.
these bricks, hang on one second. So these bricks are not supposed to have an EMF field to them at all.
Right.
So it's made out of granite. Granite doesn't have an electrical charge. What I normally do is I test the ground every time I'm here to kind of see what's going on. Now this is kind of locked at a 2.9. I don't know if it's because I hit something. So I'm just going to reset it real quick and I'm going to set it on the ground and see if we get anything out of it. But again, we're on week 1 of that loop. So I wasn't expecting you to hear Benjamin or John, but it's a matter of like it can and will happen. So I'm just going to set it down on any brick. I have a 0.8 there. No water.
Like, if there is a ghost, can, like, you shine it somewhere where there is a ghost? Will it just, like, some parts turn blue and, like, it will be, like, black, kind of?
So those devices that you see, are you talking about on your camera?
Yeah, so I'll, like, move it up and it'll turn, like, black.
So you're
like,
going to see different colors change on there because if I put my hand into view, everything changes color because I'm
yeah,
the
like
warmest
blue
thing.
and black, kind of.
Yeah, but I want them to move.
Yeah.
I want them to look like people.
Right. Take the shape of a person.
Right. Do you want me to show you what I mean? Would that explain things a little bit better?
Oh, and it's because, buddy, you just changed your view. You were looking at the brick and then you went up.
Right. And the
So
brick
that's-
is definitely going to be cooler than the walls around it. So let me kind of give you a good grip on what he's looking for. I keep an evidence folder on Facebook from the tours because it obviously keeps people coming in.
Right.
So, from the thermal, that would make sense for him. Rob.
Can I hear?
Alright, so this particular camera, this video here, if I can get a signal like that.
I think it said a little bit of George and then cut off. Like G.
No, we're going to get a signal down there. Oh, there we go. So, this particular video is a person walking right towards us,
Whoa.
right there. And what's funny is this camera person was about his age. It was a girl. She's 8 or 9.
Oh, man.
Did you see it walking towards
Yeah.
you? And I have all the screen and still shots from it to show you like the darkest place is in the face, like, and they're coming closer to us. Like, it is a crazy, crazy video. It sucks because, again, 8-year-olds,
Yes,
it's
yes.
kind of hard to watch. But all the still shots from that.
Can you see that guy up there? Oh, and you're facing the brick, bro. You're not gonna get nothing from the brick.
So this one behind the people, like orange are obviously the people, like from my tour. Watch behind them. There'll be 3 figures that show up out of nowhere.
Whoa.
Did you see the people behind them?
Yeah.
You didn't see it.
What the heck?
Yeah, so hang on, let me fast forward and find that. Watch out. Let's kind of get out of this way. Kind of freeze frame it so you can see it in this picture. There it is. So you see how they. No, don't do that. There we go. Of course. There they are. So you see how this big blue blob? There's 3 heads in there. The camera just cut it off because all these orange and red people, those are people that were on my tour that night. It just won't stay still. It's to show off the 3 people. There they are. See all the 3 people standing behind them? No, not the orange people, the blue people, right below my thumb. They weren't there before.
Wow.
I can kind of tell.
Oh, and
So
there's
there's
one
a
of their
head.
head. There's a head.
Zoom
Like a
in.
little kid head?
No, the orange people are real humans.
Yeah,
The
I'm
3
talking about that black one.
Yeah, so that black dot, I don't know why that black dot even showed up. But you can see, I just wanted you to see where they actually started from. So watch behind. Look, there's nobody back there. But as the camera starts to move a little bit, you start to see them form a little bit behind them. Right about there. So just
Yep.
watch behind that person. They just kind of come up out of nowhere. It's playing on a loop. So right now we're in the middle of it again. There's nobody there. And then they start to show up a little bit at a time.
Yep.
Right there.
Saw 'em.
There's 3 heads in there,
Yep.
3 people standing right behind
You
them.
can see the silhouette.
Now remember, that was at the Pinckney Mansion site where we just left.
Okay.
So there was 3 children that made it. Remember, baby George did not.
Right.
Their focus for that particular group was what was going on with Charles and Thomas and Harriet. So again, it made sense as to why those little 3 figures actually started to show up.
Right.
That's what we had so far with this guy. So the next alley we're going to go to is a little bit different, only because, again, this is a weird space, just in general. It's just a quick stop normally to kind of give the layout of the land for the history buffs. They love to hear that they're standing on one of the first streets.
Right. Right.
We're going to Philadelphia Alley. I can't take you all the way through it. Because we're such a small group, and especially we have a shorter member, we're going to go in a little bit. I've been kicked out of there. So,
You what?
I've been kicked out.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's a staple. Like every ghost tour goes down there, but we're only allowed to go down halfway. So I'm going to take you about a quarter of the way through, so that way you can see what that alley actually looks like, and I'll kind of give you the quick gist of that story because it dealt with duels. Do you know what a duel is? It's where 2 guys that were mad at each other.
Oh, yeah.
They went back to back and came out this way, and then they turned and tried to shoot each other down the alley. So I'm gonna tell Dad about a dueling story and see if he hears anything about that specific duel we're gonna talk about.
So it would be like this.
Yes.
Yep,
We were
back
both
to back.
walk away from
and
each
then
other.
everybody takes 10 steps.
He turns around and you shoot.
Right. So as we exit, I'm gonna have you guys stop the video because
Okay.
we don't record in neighborhoods because we're gonna cut through a neighborhood to get there.
Okay.
So let's go see this darkened alley. And the next one's a little bit more lit up.
Christopher?
You heard Christopher? There was a Christopher we met down here.
Really?
Yeah. The list is not very long. So it's not that I have it memorized, but I do recognize names when they do pop up. So I don't know why Christopher through, but I'm going to find out. There's something else on there relative to him. So that is the people actually has just their names and their occupation. That was it. There wasn't many people that lived down there.
Right.
Considered residential at the end, and we're not allowed in residential areas.
Oh.
So basically, what happened was I took my group down here, and I would always take them all the way through to the end. And the reason I did that is because the bricks on the other side were older, because this alley didn't always come all the way through.
Okay.
Those bricks have one full handprint from a slave child in them and fingerprint swipes in them. And I would always stop to show them off because it's part of our history.
Right.
We're going to stop over here. Because again, the other tours I think are down a lot further. But anyway, we got caught one night, and I didn't know it was supposed to be caught. Like, I thought it was like
Wait, hold on.
where we were located in the alley.
This looks like a handprint right here.
That's probably from an animal. But anyway, November 26th, we got caught. The interesting hard thing about that was that handprint I treat just like a grave. The kid's not staring at me at that brick in the afternoon. So it's outside a gentleman's dining room right there. We come out screaming. He wasn't very happy with us at all. So the next day was Thanksgiving. I didn't have a tour. The day after that, I got a phone call just asking me to go down halfway like everybody else or to reroute my tour. I don't think it's fair for my groups of 10 to try to investigate around 20 to 60 other people.
Right.
Because we're allowed to go to 20 people total. So, actually, that was a pretty small group that actually exited out of here. So I decided I'm going to reroute. Before we leave, I told my team, I didn't even believe in the story I was going to tell them. I'm going to tell you guys later on. But they heard the name Anne on a spirit box. I didn't tell them we were going to be investigating Anne Bonny, the female pirate.
Wow.
So we get down there and I'm like, all right, maybe there is something going on tonight. Somebody else hears the number 300, and I don't know what that means either. So the next day I'm doing the research and find out we were there on November 28th of 2020. Anne Bonny's trial for piracy was November 28th of 1720.
Wow.
We were there on the exact 300th anniversary of the pirate trial.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so I keep taking like all my groups back there in hopes that we're gonna find something. It's normally a hit or miss location, but because we're such a small group, there's gonna be a couple, like we're gonna stop at one more stop in between all this, because there's a lot of stories on that next street corner. But here's what happens here. Again, this is Philadelphia Alley now, so if you guys want to come down here later and check things out, because again, you can do the ghost story on your own during the daytime. Here's how it goes. There's a doctor guy that moves down here, and because he's trying to prove to his girlfriend Amanda that he's not going after her money. She just inherited a bunch of money. So when he comes into town, he makes friends with this guy named Ralph. Ralph, him, like, the doctor's making more money than him after a short period of time, so they argue over a play one night. Sorry, I'm kind of giving you the shorter version to keep him occupied. So
Listen,
that argument actually led to. Is that me? I felt like I thought I heard like a step or something. But anyway, that argument led to them like insulting each other through the newspaper, and then they came down here to duke it out. Is basically what happened. So the doctor's name was Joseph Brownlad, and his opponent was Ralph Isaacs. And they got down here, took their 10 paces, they turned. The doctor pointed his gun in the air, and he didn't want to shoot his friend. But Ralph, he puts his shot in the kneecap on the doctor. So he didn't kill his friend,
Right.
He did maim him.
Right.
So the doctor's friends picked him up and they carried him home, which was 59 Church Street, a very famous house here. And basically dies 10 days later after refusing medical treatment.
What?
He's a doctor. He tried to bleed it out himself. So normally I told the story across the street at that white building that you're looking at, and we're all lined up filming down here because again, there's big groups of 20 to come down here at a time. So if you can imagine that when you walk down here, by the way, the doctor was known as the whistling doctor because he made so much money and proving his point that Amanda, that he wasn't after her money.
Right.
So you can come down here and hear the whistles. The cool thing is we're down here now. You can use your audio that we're recording right now to see if there's any faint whistling in the background.
Sweet.
But if you guys come down here on your own and turn on your voice recorder from your phone, keep in mind every local knows the story.
Right.
So anybody walking up and down Cumberland is
Wait, hold on. It sings.
I know, I hear it going off like crazy. The Ouija board box.
Oh, that's what that is.
Yeah,
Okay.
it keeps going off. So there must be some kind of high EMF in my bag. It's probably a battery pack or something in there to make it go off because it's on the super sensitive. But I am going to clear it and see if we actually get the initials from Ralph, since we're actually down here. We do get Ralph's initials all the time.
Really?
Because the doctor came from Rhode Island. Rhode Island and Ralph Isaacs have the same initials. We get RI all the time, even before I got this thing.
Dang.
It was coming up on different spirit boxes all the time.
Really?
It was weird. So between this guy and I have it in my pocket and it was on, so it's the problem. It's going to a different screen. We put it in a newspaper.
Yep.
Interesting. So again, it's really backed up now that I know it's probably from something in my bag. out of it. There's R.
R what?
We need R-I.
R-I. What did it put? R-A?
Give it one more pass, Ralph. Not working.
Four-year.
4-year.
4-year degree.
It said like kill
Sorry.
me or something.
I don't know off the top of my head how long the doctor was here before he was killed. I have to look up that specific page, so it may have been 4 years. I know he was 22 when he died.
Wow. Oh, so 18, 19.
Yeah, so he's 18, 19 years old. I'm going to tuck this one back away so I can write down 4 year.
It says 4 years on it.
No, Dad heard 4 years on his.
degree.
Have it
Well,
in. Let's see if I can have it.
Yeah, again, I don't normally bring people down here. It's a matter of telling the elaborate story across the street. And then we kind of...
Right straight down. East Bay. Like Stoll's Alley.
The other reason I bring you guys to this portion here is because of this gate. So this gate is here because in the event there was a loser to a duel, this was a shortcut to get to the cemetery over there. Otherwise, they'd have to go all the way down to Queen Street and bring them all the way around. So it stays locked, but I always like to stop here, and we're going to actually go over to where those bushes are now. Like, we're going to go around the corner, and normally I point it out over there, but we're standing right in front of it. But again, this was the shortcut for the
That's
dead body, which
crazy.
didn't happen often,
Right.
but when it did, it was a shortcut. Great
Yes.
Okay, I see the
Yeah.
people over there. Wait, hold on.
We're right next to Eliza's husband, Charles Pinckney, and the nephew. He was a governor for South Carolina.
Okay.
Which I don't know. I'm not real huge on politics. I don't know if that puts him in the Senate or whatever.
Something.
But his grave is right over there.
Wow.
Yeah, and we will get things relative to either one of them. So I'll kind of wait to see if other terms pop up around that. But yeah, it happens all the time, dude. Like
That's crazy.
I'm surprised you haven't heard any like religious terms yet, like preacher, Bible, things like that. We're next to our tallest steeple. It happens
Okay.
pretty much on a nightly basis, and you guys don't
I
hear
like
that
church
stuff
singing.
until we get over here.
Gospel.
It's so weird.
Yep, and it was the first time I heard anything like that.
Do I pause it?
Nope, we're gonna keep it running.
Keep it up, Owen. You're pointing at the brick, dude.
This is video.
There you go.
This video.
Good job.
Let me take us around the corner. Let me throw in these extra stories. You like pirates, buddy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Hold on, I could probably see like a ghost over here. Let me
We're
see.
gonna go right there, through this way.
Oh. Look, you can see like it looks like gunshots up there.
You having fun? Oh, another George.
Did you get
Another George.
another George?
George Gino?
You know George Gino?
We're gonna go this way, though. Right here.
I can hear a little bit.
gotta figure out what's in our house. Dude, one day, I laid Owen down for a nap, and we fell asleep in the bed. I went out on the couch and just laid there in the recliner, and all of a sudden, I hear this little girl saying, "Daddy, Daddy, come play with me, Daddy, come play with me, please, Daddy." And all of a sudden, here comes Owen running out of the freaking bedroom, and is like, "I have a sister?" And I was like, "What?" He heard the same thing in his dream. It was so weird. It gives me the goosebumps just thinking about that.
So there are, like, just like that phone app that I'm using, there's multiple things. If I told you we're going on vacation, I'm not allowed to bring any of this here. I still have my phone. There's several things that I trust because I test them out constantly, all the time. So the word listing is a pretty good one. I have the upgraded version. It has a much bigger dictionary. It's $3. Obviously well worth it. Yeah. Taurus uses everything. Because it does give you a little bit of extra things. There's EMF detectors that you can use. Most of them work. I don't know how. Like, you can use your phone as an EMF detector. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. But I use them all the time.
Really?
Yeah. Especially if I'm trying to just, if somebody invites me to go look at a building or things like that, I usually use my phone as a base reading, so that way I'm not carrying too many devices.
Right.
So I'll use that. I use a reverse spirit box on my phone. It works really well. I used to use that on the tours all the time. That one gets a little too dark, if you know what I mean.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it sounds really dark.
Really?
Almost like chanting kind of.
Oh, wow.
So me calling this a Ouija board on the tours is kind of a stretch for the family-oriented group that I've created here.
Right.
So the little chanting box that I used was a little much for some people, so I took that one out.
I want.
I know you do. You're like curious about everything.
Yes.
How about you hang on to this guy for me? Let me
I'm
know if anything
curious,
pops up.
George.
You're curious, George, the monkey? But the reason why every ghost tour stops here, like there's literally like 15 stories here. So I've researched them all. I know which ones are true. I know which ones are not. Because again, I'm not going after myths and legends.
Right.
It's just ridiculous. So they all go up to that cemetery because there's a sign inside that says there's no ghost here but the Holy Ghost. Yeah, a church has that in their own cemetery. There's a reason for it.
Yeah.
So 1888, a young lady dies by the name of Sue Howard Hardy.
Is there Owen Sue?
No.
No.
Now, the funny thing about this whole thing is that her initials do show up all the time. Sue Howard Hardy, SHH. So it comes up like, a lot of times teenage kids, when they have that spirit box, they'll use both earbuds and not pay attention to me at all.
Really?
One night, some girl, we're all sitting here, I had my entire team lined up, and they're like, I just got shushed. And I told these, and they all looked at me, and I was like, I told you it happens in real time. I can't make this stuff up.
Wow.
But anyway, she died 6 days after her stillborn child. 1987, a local photographer's taking pictures in all of his cemeteries, and he captures a full apparition in one of his pictures while he's developing.
Serious?
Yeah, so he can't figure out what's going on, so he sent it over to Kodak. Kodak can't debunk the picture either. So for guys like me, it's gold. I don't always tell this story, but again, if I have my larger groups, we skip this whole corner and we go straight to the pirates over across the street. But this particular story, I let them have it up there because it's normally their finale. It's something they can show.
Right.
You guys are obviously using kick-ass gear with me, so it's a matter of like, I'm not going to steal their thunder.
Right.
I'm not that guy. They already don't like me. So I'm going to show you the picture so you can see the ghost in the picture, so you can see why everybody, like why they show it off. But it is cursed to females. The funny thing about this is that if something pops up relevant to the story, and I have to give you the link, and always put that it's the cursed photo.
I got
Just because,
okay.
I'm not going to be the guy because it's cursed. What would that be? See how sturdy this bag is.
FDYH. Okay, so I got FDYH. HOS. I have HOS.
Alright, so I'm going to tell you guys this crazy pirate story. So I will look at the letters when I'm done going through the story. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Pay attention to these. You don't have to look at them.
Yeah, well, you don't have to at this point.
SH.
You have an SH. Sue Howard. And again, this is a bleed over spot.
Right.
So actually, I want to check the windows real quick. I'm just going to chill them. That Charlestown wall that they painted. That little building right there with the crosses on it.
Yeah.
So, did they tell you what that building was earlier?
Yeah.
That's the Powder magazine. So, So the powder magazine basically held gunpowder for 7 different wars, and it is next to the walls of the city on purpose, up in the corners of it. So the wall literally went up just past the powder magazine, about a block up to Meeting Street, and started going south, going this way, behind me. So it locks it into the corners on purpose. In the event that a pirate ship or revolutionary warship is going to attack from the water, where you guys were earlier today, it's going to have a hard time getting this far. If it does, the walls are 32 inches thick.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I got HOSS.
I like the SH at this point. I'm also keeping an eye on this guy, because we get the word bridge, we will get weird terms in this spot. So, if it does get hit and the cannonball goes all the way through, let's say it penetrates all the way through the 32-inch thick walls, there's sand underneath those shingles that's supposed to go up in the air with the explosion and fall to put out the fire of the gunpowder.
Are you serious?
It's still there.
Are you serious?
So, again, it's a great idea, it just doesn't work.
Wow.
We had another powder magazine closer to the battery, like near Battery Street, and it actually did get hit because it's too close to the water. The sand went up and the building burned it down.
Oh my God.
This one's just never been attacked.
Right.
So this one has served the French and Indian War, the Yamasee War, the Civil War, Revolutionary War. Like it's our oldest government building in South Carolina.
Wow.
Finished in 1713.
Jesus.
We are here. Look at that. It says observer.
Wow.
Penelope.
Penelope.
Who the hell's Penelope?
I got HOSSAX.
Okay. Remind me to write down SH.
Okay.
Those are the letters I like so far.
And now I got UA.
We're here because this building is what I would call a familiar. So basically like using a toy to attract a child ghost. It's the same principle. We don't have any buildings this old. This building actually was being constructed at the same time. Yeah, we're going to get it up a lot. I've already got this here, the big one here. I got it. But this building was being constructed at the same time Anne was coming to Charlestown to start the pirate career. So here's how this story goes. So in a nutshell, 1708, a young lady named Anne Cormack was moving here with her dad and his mistress. The mistress was her mother.
Wow.
Yeah. The three of them were running away from his wife. Got me? Okay. So, they landed in Georgetown, which is just north of here. Dad bought a plantation, mom died pretty quickly. He has to send young Anne down here to try to sell anything from the plantation and keep things going. So this is why we're here. Building is familiar.
Yep.
Now back home in Ireland, Anne was kind of a badass. They say she killed one of her servants when she was only 10 or 12 years old with a knife to the belly. Yeah, just giving you the mentality of this young lady. Fast forward, the building was done in 1713, 1715, pirates are coming to town, and Anne is stoked. She's going to fall in love with him quickly because that's what Anne does. She wants her freedom.
Right.
Guy number one, yes, there's a handful. Guy number one turns out to be James Bond. You have to see where this one's going, right? So, Dad didn't approve of him, broke the pirate, they go to Jamaica, elope, get married. Now, Anne Cormack is Anne Bond, the famous female pirate. When they get there, this guy is not Captain Jack Sparrow that she was hoping for. He is a privateer. He's a spy for the British. So he's a captain. It's not who she wants. A few years later, she falls in love again. And John Rafferty, a.k.a. Calico Jack. This is the real Jack who gave base to Captain Jack Sparrow character. So Calico Jack does have jealousy of him, and he wants to be part of it. Can't put a girl on a pirate crew. Bad luck. So he makes a deal. You dress like the crew, and you can be part of the crew, but you're going to be a female in my quarters. She's like, whatever, it's a man's world, let's do this. Also, she's okay with it because Dad used to cross-dress her as a boy back home in Ireland, as a boy apprentice to keep her away from his wife. So she's like, whatever, let's go. Yeah. Chicks had a crazy, crazy life. But anyway, let's put two and two together. We got an 8-year-old with us. Being a female in his quarters, she's going to get pregnant.
Yep.
You can't have a pregnant pirate on the crew, right? Someone's going to figure it out. He drops her off in Jamaica. Come back later on after you have the baby, we'll figure it out from there. She goes, because the baby returns without a kid. We have no idea what happens to the baby. No amount of research I've done gives me anything on what happened to the child. The irony about this is that she's dressed like a female, making Jack pretty angry.
What?
Like a little tiny red flash of light. I couldn't tell if it was like bouncing off a ring off your finger or something. So weird.
Where is my phone?
You took it off. So-
she comes back dressed as a girl. Jack's pretty angry about all this. While she was gone, after another night, they're down below deck. Anne's gonna go flipping with Jack and Norman. Guy number three. Guy number three turns out to be a female dressed like Jack. One of the pirate group that Calico Jack just captured. Oh my. Two females dressed like men, trying to be pirates. Her name is Mary Reed. Her and Mary become friends, possibly lovers. So I don't know what she was. but the British find it very odd. They send an entire fleet of ships, comes up down there, one Weasley pirate ship. Anne and Mary are the only two pirates that can come up and fight with their one bullet flintlocks because everybody else is too drunk to come up and fight. And they're using their flintlocks probably because they don't know how to use the cannon shots. Not, tennis. Right. So, and at that point, they're going to get arrested. So as they're being arrested, Anne looks at her captain and Beau, Calico Jack, and says, "You should have fought like a man instead of being hanged like a dog." The little dog shows up on the spirit box. The judge, his name is Nick as well. So that's where my name is usually relative to him, not me. There's actually 3 relative Nicks to this location, but yeah, it's me, this judge, and then there's another chief justice on the other side of that powder magazine, his prodigy. So again, you get all 3 different Nicks. Sometimes it's a hello Nick, reference to me. The other one says Nick Law. The other one, his name is Nicholas Laws. Yeah. Wow. And then his name was Nicholas Trump. So there's 3 different Nicks. Right. So sometimes we get 3 N's. That's been showing up more and more on the envoy that he's using right now. But anyway, he wants to see the 2 men that fought back by themselves actually try and hung Calico Jack and the drunk pirates that wouldn't fight. So the 2 ladies go on brunch, they reveal their gender. He doesn't care that they're female. He's still gonna, hang them because they're pirates.
Right.
We plead our bellies was the last thing they said, because you can't hang a pregnant woman at 1720. It's illegal. So it shuffles them both back to jail, delays the hanging. Dad is still here in Charlestown area with all of his Irish money. He bails out Anne, brings her home, remarries. That's husband number 2, but guy number 4, you're gonna count Mary,
Right.
and has 4 kids, dies at the age of 84. Yeah, she lived to 84? Yeah, in the 1700s.
This girl lived until she was like 104.
It's so funny. Does that say father? So the questions I normally give my teams, I only read out 2 things because we're dealing with pirate world. It's very hard to find factual data out of rule book. So I usually tell people I know for certain Anne wanted parents' names, and the father, and the missions. So we have the word father that shows up. We're going to see if the father's name actually does show up. And the other thing is Calico Jack's ship. Now that we have the envoy, it's a very odd name. I'm hoping the envoy, the Ouija board, will be able to spell it out for us. We haven't been able to see that yet, but it gets very interesting.
I got W.
You got a W. Oh, I got to write down SH.
Yeah.
So, alright, so we are going to go hang out over there by that wall. So why don't you slide your shoes back on. I'm going to gather my gear up so we can actually see what's going on here. And we're going to go ask some questions, and you can listen with Dad on the spirit box and watch the Ouija board.
W-L. It's trying to spell wall, I think.
What's it giving you? W what?
W-L.
The father's name is Ray.
Huh?
The father's name is Ray.
K.
Is it?
Yeah.
W-L-K.
Would you say that,
The last name was Cormac
Cormac
with a C.
with a C?
Could be, if it was spelled with K, it would be K-Mac.
With this device, the motion sensor, I've been asking more and more what the color of Anne Bonny's hair color is, because the motion sensor gives you different colors up here, and she would have to touch it to be able to show us. It's the only way to get the color red. Anne had red hair. It's the only time I've ever seen red show up on this guy.
Wow. Look at that. M-O.
And we don't normally get numbers over here.
Oh,
wow.
1.
We have, that's a 5-7. It might be from the phone. The phone's going to give off a little bit of a signal. Nope. Maybe not. That was a 5-7. I'll take it. What letters you got?
J.
M-O-J.
And do you want to show us the color of your hair? Touch the metal stick like you did for me a few weeks ago. Or you can just tell us the color. Oh, 3.2.
It's just a
6.6. That's pretty high for this location. We don't normally get anything over here.
M-O-J-H.
$10.3.
Wow.
That's high. That's really high.
Wow.
Like that would be a low end for the Pinckney Mansion. That's super high over here.
Wow. Export.
Yeah, it's been on there for a minute. And show us the color of your hair, please.
HYBY.
Nope, that's not the color of your hair. Try again. That was an 11 and a half.
Wow.
Wow. I'm trying to keep it away from the bag.
Yeah, I don't think that's doing it though.
And what color was your hair?
Did she like money?
She was a pirate. What do you think?
Yeah.
Alright, I say we go over to that wall so I can set this down and test it, so that way I can...
Wait, I got an idea. Say, if you tell us the... We couldn't we say if... Couldn't we say, like, if you tell us the color of your hair, we will give you a bunch of coins, like gold.
I'm not gonna lie to her. And she knows I'm not gonna give her any money. I'm out here every night, buddy. You get to hold this guy for me again.
Okay.
Put your
I'll
shoe
be-
on, brother.
I know, I was just...
I need your help, man. I know, you're itchy. These bug bites are...
These are worse than at home.
What state did you guys say you live in?
North Carolina.
North Carolina.
But I'm from Vermont originally.
Gotcha.
I'm from here.
Push it, bro.
So is it just you two vacationing then?
Yeah. We go on all kinds of trips. I spend pretty much every dollar I make on this kid. And we go four-wheeling and fishing and all
Good
kinds
for you,
of stuff.
man. I'm actually going through a bit of a
Got an eye.
custody battle now.
Are you? Dude, I just lost 50-50 of him because his mom won't communicate with me.
Mm-hmm.
And I got punished for it.
Yep.
And the judge straight up told me, this isn't a punishment, Mr. Jibo.
It's okay, I got the new boyfriend at the house. For a year.
What?
Yeah. And I'm the one that went to jail 2 years ago. It's okay. I got this one. She just got served this morning.
It's so...
Dude, the system's so broken.
It is.
Got your shoe on for me,
It's
buddy?
not even a system anymore. It's a joke. And
Yeah.
It's a straight joke. My stepmom's an attorney. I mean, judge. And she,
Come on, buddy. I need you to help me out with this camera.
Oh, yeah.
she doesn't even...
You got it.
She just... I followed everything she told me to do this whole entire time. Like, I even told the judge that. And
I did too.
he's like,
I got a disabled wife that I had to send to a hotel away every weekend. My daughter was with me for a year. And then we got married 2 days after my divorce. Capturing why that happened.
yeah.
And I've been with her ever since. We're going on 7 years now.
Wow. For you.
And I'm still fighting, as you can see.
You'll never ever stop. It'll always be a fight. There's always going to be a fight. I've came to terms with that. But
Ow.
I'll do it.
My oldest is my stepdaughter from that marriage.
Exactly.
There's a grandchild now that I'll never meet. Yeah.
Oh, so she's like that, huh?
Oh yeah.
That's
haven't
how
seen
his
her
mom
since.
is. I've raised his two half brothers
Mhm.
from 3 and 4 to 17 and 19.
Yep.
And they don't talk to me.
Oh, well, I had a phone call asking me for cash.
Oh yeah.
I said, you need...
That's the only reason they talk to me.
Yeah.
The
So
only
when I
time.
told her no, I was like, I'm barely making ends meet with what I'm giving your mom. So get a hold of her. I was like, I can get you a job down here. She lived upstate. That's as far as I could take it. I can get you a job, help you get you your diploma instead of a GED.
Hmm.
You know, the whole nine. She hooks up with some guy that's in jail.
Hmm.
He goes back to jail, and now she's got a baby with no baby daddy around. Don't listen to Dad. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
AA. We got 2 AAs.
Wait, hold on. It just went to red.
Yeah, that's because I was moving it around.
Oh.
That was coming from my movements. The 2.2 is probably just stable from the other electricity wiring on the other side of this. So don't get too excited. Plus, we have an electrical pole right there. And anything that's considered steady. So even when you're using the EMF phone thing that I showed you, if it stays pretty steady, it's usually from something man-made. You want a spike and erratic reading.
Gotcha, okay.
That's why I
Jump.
got excited about that 10.3, then back down to 0.
Okay. Okay.
That's why I was writing those down.
Okay.
So again, when you see this stuff all the time, you kind of get the gist of it's coming from the wall or the wiring.
Right.
Same principle.
2.2.
Yep. It's going to stay there for a minute. We're going to see if Anne's going to show us her hair color. And look at my word list. You still got us recording on the camera behind you?
Yeah.
Yep.
This is a blue thing, like the blue circle when it's recording.
No, that just means it's keeping the camera charged. That's just the battery.
Oh.
Oh.
Here, listen.
Yeah, help that out. You're the one that wanted to
You're
come
much
out
better
here.
at this.
Yeah. So this guy claims to do the same thing with all the hertz that are up here. Those are the radio stations. So what it's doing is it's
Oh.
recognizing terms from the 9100 dictionary.
Oh, are you
terms.
serious?
Yeah. So, and at times, like if it says
It'll
lower
match.
now, I'll find things that match, and they're weird terms, like that Penelope that was on there.
Yeah.
Like I'll probably find something that
Right.
sounds like
I
pen and
just saw a
envelope
light
kind of thing,
flicker.
and it'll think it heard Penelope.
Guys, it just had like a light flickering like off and on. It was off and then it flickered on and then off.
Those people, there are apartments up there. So those are apartments up there. So somebody might have just turned a light on and off, but you should have been recording it.
Yeah.
Uh huh.
Yes.
It's okay.
But it wouldn't be able to see through the wall.
No, but you saw a light. If
Yeah.
So if a light was coming through a window, the light would turn a really warm color, and then it would go cold again. Because the light is warmer than just the cold window. So we still would have been able to find it.
This M, it likes M. The Holy Spirit.
By the way, what was Blackbeard's real name?
Oh, teacher, that's right.
Told you. We get shit like that all the time.
Wow. Huh. Earthquake.
You heard earthquake?
Right there.
Do you know why it says earthquake?
Yeah, well, there was. Did the earthquake knock the wall down?
Those crosses are earthquake bolts. They're the first set that was ever put in Charleston.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Damn.
Goats?
Yeah, now we're starting to get some terms. Look at it, went up to 3.3. That might be from the phone. That's weird. Nope. Not coming from the phone. I don't know where the hell that 3.3 came from. But you heard Holy Spirit. That's what
Yes, Holy Spirit.
Grant?
Grand. Just grand.
9-6.
Holy shit.
That's not as good.
11-3.
Yeah, we're not supposed to have anything over here. We don't normally have things over here.
Really?
Just like we don't normally have things over there.
Huh.
Like something's going on.
9-9.
Picture. Sue Howard Hardy. The story of the picture.
Yes.
The ghost in the picture. And it said goat before that.
Yes, go.
It meant ghost
It-
instead of goat.
Right. That's very cool. It's actually giving us a lot of really cool terms over here.
Yeah.
And the fact that that's going off too.
3.7. 3.6.
Yeah, I got a lot of those little ones. I'm interested in like anything above 11 at this point.
Little core. 7-2.
You heard 7.2?
Mm-hmm.
That's like a cop ring thing. 7.
But we often get the number 7 over here because of Dr. Ladd's birthday. It's July 7th. We'll normally get doubles of it.
Oh, that's it.
Mine's June 27.
Mm-hmm.
June 27th, so 6-7.
Yep.
Top. Picture top.
What's at the top of this building?
Cross.
I'm waiting for sand.
Oh, sand.
Modern.
Moderate. Meaning like medium.
Right, right.
And can you tell us what's at the top of this building?
Two.
Yep, you're right.
100, 200.
To what?
Yeah, to what, Ann? That thing's going berserk. I've never seen it do that over here. Like I said, normally it's at like 0.5, 0.6, like through this whole area.
Huh.
She's not saying anything yet.
That's why I use so many different communication devices.
See what?
I've had people come up to me.
Is that what it said? I've had people come up to me. Well, and you see me every night.
10.9. Right when you said that.
And what color was your hair? You know how this works. Tell us what's going on.
Said that's tough.
Approaching?
Architect.
Who's approaching?
Says T-I-M. Tim? Tim.
No.
Ann. I just heard Ann. Tim and 200 something. I keep hearing 200.
Who's Tim? And who's Tim?
Yeah, I'd like to know who Tim is too.
PTTS. For E.
Do you think Anne could be on the other side of this wall?
Anne is said to be seen everywhere. People have
Just
seen
wanna
her
have
all
fun.
over town. I just like to try to look for her here because it's the same time period. She was here a couple hundred years ago.
Well, maybe that's what 200 is.
Oh, it's 300.
300.
All right, let me see your camera over there.
16.5.
Oh, nice.
Wait, hold on. Yeah.
Alright. I like Anne that's showing up. I like all these numbers coming up. I don't think I've ever seen it go to 16 before.
11.9.
Yeah, I have a lot of those like 10, 11s.
Yeah.
That 16 was pretty high.
16. Yeah. My father's close. My father's close. My father's
That's
close.
close. What was your father's name? Can you give us that? What letters are you getting? What letters? Yeah, let me take a peek.
Wait, whisper.
Nope, weeps. And the word cry was up there earlier.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Weeps. Cries.
And do you want to tell us where you're from? What city did you live
17
in? On here or you heard it?
here. I heard it.
And
Here.
what city did you live in? It's a very specific city. Can you tell us what city it was?
No.
Darkness.
Dark shadows. That could be one.
Darkness.
And tell us what city you lived in, where you grew up in Ireland. I've done that one before. It's been a while since I've asked you that. And one.
Darkness?
Yep, still on darkness. Alright, and we're going to go one more word coming through before we're going to say goodnight. It said finally. All right, Ann, smartass. Tell us either what color your hair was. Answer any of the questions that we asked. Where you're from.
Kathmandu. Pass.
Sorry, buddy.
What did
Is
you
it
say?
Dark Mandu. That's what it just said. It just said Dark Mandu.
That was Kathmandu.
Kathmandu.
Cat.
Okay.
That's a song.
P-L-O-E.
Hole?
Pole. P-O-L. Polo? Polo.
Like solo.
P-Q-L-O-E, but good night.
You've heard good night?
Mm-hmm.
That's usually a clue. Like, she's done. We got it's tough when we asked her a specific question.
Yeah.
She might actually be having a hard time. All right, Ann. Until tomorrow. Hole. You have P-O-L-E.
Huh. Put the pole in the hole.
Pole.
Maybe she had too much pole in her hole.
I don't know. She may have. She had enough levers for it. Wow. All right. I'm going to call it.
Holy,
Yeah, man,
it's
that-
like
this is
Holy
awesome.
Christ.
What?
Holy Christ. Like from the Bible.
Yeah, it's not spelled that way, though.
No,
It's spelled a little bit differently.
you need a Y.
So 80 terms. So again, about the average, I normally see about 75 to 85.
Okay.
But yeah, you guys did great.
That's awesome, man.
This was actually, with the lack of
Get out of
devices
town.
that we were using, like, this was pretty decent, like, considering how many, lack of people, so
Right,
to speak.
right,
So,
right.
again, I would call, like, this would be an average tour for what I normally see with this kind of. So,